You look in the mirror and see those wrinkles that tell the story of a lifetime. You feel your body is more tired than it used to be, and you think it's just age creeping in, that it's normal. But what if I told you that the fatigue you feel every day, that belly that's grown even though you're not eating more than before, that swelling in your legs at the end of the afternoon, that difficulty losing weight that never existed when you were younger? What if all of this isn't just age? What if I told you that deep inside your body, silently, your liver is crying for help, and you have no idea how much it's stealing from your years of life, your energy, your quality of life, in this phase that should be about wisdom and enjoyment? You go to the doctor for those routine checkups, and when the results come back, there it is. Fatty liver disease, and the doctor says it's common for your age, that you need to lose weight and exercise, but doesn't explain the real seriousness of it. You leave the office thinking it's just another little problem to add to the list of age-related ailments, unaware that this condition could be leading you straight to cirrhosis, to liver cancer, to cardiovascular complications that will end your independence, your autonomy, everything you cherish most in this stage of life. You don't want to be a burden to your children. You want to travel with your spouse. You want to play with your grandchildren. Without pain, without getting winded, without needing to sit down every 5 minutes. But fatty liver is stealing that from you, and nobody is telling you the full truth about what's really happening inside your body. The truth is, over 60% of people over 60 have some degree of fatty liver, and most don't even know it. A study just came out from the University of California showing that in people over 65, fatty liver disease accelerates biological aging by up to 12 years. 12 years you're losing. 12 years less of a full life, of memories with your family, of precious moments you'll never get back. And worse, while fatty liver can still be easily reversible in younger people, the window of opportunity is much smaller in seniors. The progression to steatohepatitis, that severe liver inflammation, happens 3 times faster, and the chance of developing cirrhosis in just 5 years is 40% higher than in middle-aged adults. This isn't just another health issue, it's a ticking time bomb inside your body, and every day that passes without you doing anything is another day closer to that bomb exploding. My name is Dr. Ricardo Almeida, and I've been a hepatologist for over 25 years. For the past 10 years, I've dedicated myself exclusively to treating elderly patients with liver diseases. Every day in my practice, I see people who could be enjoying the best phase of their lives, but are trapped in a body that no longer responds, that aches, that tires, that gets sick. And the vast majority of these people have one thing in common. They discovered too late that fatty liver isn't a simple little problem, that it's not just an aesthetic issue, that it's a progressive and silent disease that destroys lives. I created this channel because I can no longer stand by and watch people waste precious time, lose their health, lose their lives, due to a lack of correct information. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you knows you need to act, that you need to understand what's happening, that you need true guidance to regain your health and quality of life. I won't deceive you with miracle promises, and I won't sell you magic formulas. But I will give you information based on science, on evidence, on everything I've learned treating thousands of patients. Every week, I bring you updated content, protocols that work, explanations your doctor doesn't have time to give in a 15-minute appointment. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because in the coming weeks, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to reverse this situation, to regain your energy, to live again with dignity and health. You deserve to enjoy this phase of life. You deserve to see your grandchildren grow up. You deserve to travel, to date, to dream, and I'm going to help you get that back. But before I explain exactly why fatty liver is so much more dangerous in seniors, I need to tell you a story that will completely change the way you see this disease. And at the end of this video, I'll reveal the #1 mistake most doctors make when treating fatty liver in elderly patients. A mistake that is preventing thousands of people from reversing this condition, a mistake that might be happening to you right now. So stay with me until the end, because this information could literally save your life. Mrs. Margaret was 72 years old when she first walked into my office. She was an elegant woman with well-kept white hair, always a smile on her face, the kind of person you look at and think they're doing well, they're healthy. She told me she'd discovered she had fatty liver 3 years ago during a routine exam, but her doctor had said it was normal for her age, that she just needed to lose a little weight and eat less sugar. Mrs. Margaret had tried dieting and had even managed to lose a few pounds, but the fatigue only worsened. Her body aches increased, and she started experiencing a mental fogginess she'd never felt before. She'd forget names, lose her train of thought, and attributed it all to her advancing age. When I ordered new tests, I discovered she already had advanced steatohepatitis, severe liver inflammation with the signs of significant fibrosis. Her liver enzymes were 4 times above normal. Her ALT was 220, her AST was 190, and her GGT was 350. But the worst part was that she had already developed severe insulin resistance, prediabetes, and her liver was so compromised that it could no longer perform its basic function of detoxifying the body. That mental fogginess she felt wasn't dementia, it was early hepatic encephalopathy. Her liver was so sick that toxins were reaching her brain. Mrs. Margaret cried in my office. She told me she thought she was going to die, that she wouldn't see her granddaughter's graduation, that she wouldn't be able to take that trip to Europe she'd planned her whole life with her husband. And the saddest part? All of this could have been avoided if, 3 years ago, someone had explained to her the real seriousness of the diagnosis. Most people, and that includes many doctors, think that fatty liver in older adults is inevitable, a natural part of aging that doesn't need aggressive treatment. But that's a grave mistake, perhaps the biggest error modern medicine makes regarding this condition. I'm going to explain what's really happening. As you age, your body undergoes profound metabolic changes. Muscle mass naturally declines, and muscle is the primary organ that consumes glucose and burns fat in your body. When you lose muscle, you automatically develop insulin resistance because the glucose you eat has nowhere to go, so it turns into fat. At the same time, your liver also ages. Liver cells regenerate more slowly. Its capacity to process fat diminishes, and the fat that accumulates in the liver isn't easily eliminated anymore. Now add to that decades of poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, medications that burden the liver, and chronic stress, and you have the perfect recipe for a metabolic bomb. And there's more. In older individuals, fatty liver doesn't just stay in the liver, it spreads to other vital organs. It infiltrates the pancreas, worsening insulin production even further. It infiltrates the heart, dramatically increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. It infiltrates the brain, accelerating cognitive decline and dementia. A study published in the Journal of Hepatology in 2023 showed that older adults with fatty liver disease are 3 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's in the next 10 years than older adults without fatty liver. 3 times more likely to lose their memory, their identity, their ability to recognize their own children. Now, I need to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with me, because your answer can help thousands of people watching this video right now. Since you discovered you have fatty liver, how many times have you felt scared that it might progress to something worse? How many nights have you stayed awake wondering if you'll need a transplant, if you'll develop cirrhosis, if your children will have to care for you in bed? I know you carry this burden in silence, that you don't talk about it with anyone because you don't want to worry your family, because you're ashamed to admit you're scared, that you're feeling fragile. But this is different. This is a safe space. And when you comment, you're not just venting, you're creating a support network for others who feel exactly like you. So, I want you to comment below. You can use these words if you like. I have fatty liver, and I want to reverse it. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel judged, because when you comment, You're empowering others to comment too. You're showing that no one is alone in this fight. Comment now, because I read every comment, every story, and your voice matters, your health matters, you matter. The science behind fatty liver in older adults is complex, but I'm going to explain it in a way you'll understand perfectly. The liver is the largest internal organ in your body. It weighs about 3 pounds and performs over 500 vital functions, from filtering toxins from your blood to producing essential proteins for clotting, from storing vitamins to regulating your hormones. When fat starts to accumulate inside liver cells, these cells become swollen, overloaded, and stop functioning properly. In the beginning, it's just simple steatosis, just accumulated fat. But if you do nothing, this fat starts to cause inflammation, and then you enter steatohepatitis, which is when the liver is literally on fire from the inside. This chronic inflammation destroys liver cells, and in their place, scar tissue, fibrosis, grows. It's like a hard scar that doesn't work and just takes up space. Over time, if the fibrosis continues to advance, you reach cirrhosis, which is when the liver is completely hardened, full of scars, and can no longer perform its functions. And a cirrhosis in older adults is especially severe because the liver no longer has the same regenerative capacity. Complications appear faster. Ascites, that fluid buildup in the abdomen that makes you look pregnant. Esophageal varices that can bleed and kill you in a matter of hours. Hepatic encephalopathy, which makes you confused, aggressive, and unaware of your surroundings. But there's something almost no one tells you. Even before reaching cirrhosis, fatty liver in older adults is already causing terrible damage throughout your entire body. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Antonio, a 68-year-old retired gentleman, a father of 3, grandfather of 7. He had fatty liver for 5 years, but he always thought it wasn't a big deal because he didn't feel pain, he had no symptoms. Mr. Antonio was diabetic. He took medication for his blood pressure and cholesterol, but he thought everything was under control. Until one day, he started feeling an overwhelming fatigue. His legs would swell, he would break out in a cold sweat at night, and when he got tested, he discovered he had developed heart failure. The cardiologist explained that his heart was weak, not pumping blood properly, and Mr. Antonio couldn't understand how this had happened if he'd never had heart problems before. That's when I asked him to get a liver elastography, a test that measures liver stiffness, and we discovered he already had advanced fibrosis, almost cirrhosis. His fatty liver had caused so much systemic inflammation in his body that it had damaged his heart too. Today, Mr. Antonio is in intensive treatment and has managed to stabilize his condition, but he lost precious years of healthy life because no one had explained to him that fatty liver is no joke. And now comes the part you've been waiting for, the information I promised at the beginning. What's the #1 mistake doctors make when treating fatty liver in seniors? It's treating it with diet and exercise alone, without considering the real limitations that age brings. Look, I'm not saying diet and exercise aren't important, they're fundamental. But a 70-year-old doesn't have the same exercise capacity as a 40-year-old. They don't lose weight as easily. Their metabolic response isn't the same. And many doctors simply tell their patients to lose weight and go for a walk, without providing a specific plan, without adjusting medications that might be worsening the condition, without properly treating insulin resistance, without supplementing missing nutrients. The result is that the patient tries, fails, gets frustrated, gives up, and the liver keeps getting worse. The correct treatment for fatty liver in seniors needs to be multifactorial. It needs to include adjusting all the medications the patient is taking, because many common drugs worsen fatty liver. It needs to include supplementation of vitamin D, omega-3, antioxidants like vitamin E. It needs strict control of blood sugar and insulin, sometimes with specific medications like metformin or GLP-1 agonists. It needs adapted exercises based on the patient's physical capacity, light resistance exercises to build muscle mass. It needs a diet low in refined carbohydrates, but rich in quality protein and healthy fats. And most importantly, it needs frequent follow-up with checkups every 3 months initially to see if the plan is working and to adjust what isn't. Many people ask me, "But doctor, is it possible to reverse fatty liver after 60, after 70? And I answer with complete conviction, yes, it's possible, but it requires commitment, discipline, and the right guidance. Mrs. Margarita, that patient I told you about at the beginning, followed the plan I created for her to the letter. In 6 months, her liver enzymes dropped by half. She lost 20 pounds, regained her energy, and the mental fogginess completely disappeared. Today, 2 years later, her liver is practically free of fat. She traveled to Europe with her husband, saw her granddaughter graduate, and sends me messages every week thanking me for explaining the seriousness of her situation and for giving her the right tools to reverse it. Mr. Antonio is also much better. He still has to be careful with his heart, but he's drastically reduced his liver inflammation, stopped progressing towards cirrhosis, and gained quality of life. These stories motivate me every day because I know that correct information saves lives. Now, you might be wondering, what are the warning signs I need to watch out for? How do I know if my liver is getting worse? First, pay attention to fatigue. If you sleep 8 hours and wake up tired, if you need to take naps during the day, if you feel constant muscle weakness, this could be a sign that your liver isn't processing energy properly. Second, observe your belly. If you're gaining belly fat even without gaining weight elsewhere on your body, if your waistline is increasing, if you feel bloated, gassy, or have slow digestion, it could be an accumulation of visceral and liver fat. Third, keep an eye on your skin. If you start developing dark spots, if your skin turns yellowish, if small red vessels appear on your face and torso, these are signs of liver dysfunction. Fourth, monitor your mind. If you start forgetting simple things, if you have difficulty concentrating, if you feel mentally confused or irritable, it could be that toxins aren't being filtered properly. And fifth, look at your lab results. If your liver enzymes are going up, if your blood sugar is out of control, if your triglycerides are high, if your blood pressure is difficult to manage, all of these can be related to fatty liver. Let me tell you another case because I want you to understand that everyone is unique. Every body responds differently. Mrs. Carmen was 64 years old. She was an active woman, walked every day, ate relatively well, but had grade 2 fatty liver. She didn't understand how this was possible if she was taking care of herself. When I investigated thoroughly, I discovered that Mrs. Carmen was taking 5 different medications, 1 for blood pressure, 1 for cholesterol, 1 for anxiety, 1 for sleep, and an anti-inflammatory for joint pain. And all of these medications, each one of them, were overloading her liver. We worked with her cardiologist and psychiatrist to adjust these medications, switching some to less liver-toxic options and reducing doses. Within 3 months, her liver was already responding. This taught me that it's no use following a perfect diet and exercise plan if you're taking medications that are destroying your liver. That's why it's so important to have a doctor who looks at you as a whole, not just one isolated organ. Now I'm going to give you the practical plan you can start implementing today. First step, get a complete liver checkup. It's not just an ultrasound. You need to check your TGO, TGP, GGT, alkaline phosphatase, bilirubin, albumin, and prothrombin time. If possible, get a liver elastography to measure fibrosis. Second step, review all your medications with your doctor. Ask if any of them could be worsening your fatty liver, if there are safer alternatives. Third step, adjust your diet. Completely cut out refined sugar, soda, juice boxes, white bread, and pasta. Increase quality protein, eggs, fish, chicken, lean meat. Include healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts. Eat plenty of leafy green vegetables. Fourth step, start moving according to your capacity. If you can walk for 30 minutes, great. Do it 5 times a week. If you can only manage 10 minutes, start with 10 and gradually increase. The important thing is not to be sedentary. Add light resistance exercises, maybe with resistance bands or 1-pound weights, just to stimulate your muscles. 5th step, smart supplementation. Vitamin D 3000 IU daily if you are deficient, good quality omega-3 2 grams daily, vitamin E 400 IU daily if your doctor approves, magnesium glycinate 300 milligrams daily. 6th step, sleep well. Your liver regenerates during sleep, especially between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. Try to sleep at least 7 hours a night. And 7th step, manage stress. High cortisol levels worsen insulin resistance and increase fat accumulation. Practice breathing exercises, meditation, do things that bring you joy. A common question I get is, "Doctor, can I take medication for fatty liver?" The truth is, there's no magic pill specifically approved for fatty liver disease. However, there are medications that help treat the underlying causes. If you have insulin resistance, metformin can be very helpful. If you have type 2 diabetes, GLP-1 agonists like semaglutide or liraglutide have shown in studies to significantly reduce liver fat and inflammation. If you have high cholesterol, statins can be used, but with caution and monitoring. But pay attention. Never take any medication on your own. Always get medical guidance and follow up with tests. Another frequent question, can I drink alcohol? Haido, the short answer is no. If you have fatty liver, even if it's not alcohol related, alcohol will drastically worsen your condition, accelerate fibrosis, and increase your risk of cirrhosis. 0 alcohol is the recommendation. What about natural supplements? Do they work? Well, some have reasonable scientific evidence like milk thistle, silymarin, and berberine. But none of them replace lifestyle changes. They can be complementary, but they're not the primary solution. Now let me tell you about Mr. Paul. He's 75 years old, a former smoker with a history of high blood pressure and high cholesterol. He discovered he had fatty liver at 70, along with pre-diabetes. His doctor prescribed statins and metformin, but gave no advice on diet or exercise. Mr. Paul continued eating buttered toast every morning for breakfast, pasta for lunch, and drinking soda. Within 2 years, he developed full-blown diabetes. His liver enzymes doubled. And when he had an elastography, he already had stage 3 fibrosis, just 1 step away from cirrhosis. When he came to my office, he was desperate, thinking there was no hope. I explained to him that there was still hope, but it would require radical changes. He agreed. We cut out all refined carbohydrates from his diet, increased protein, adjusted his medications, and added vitamin D and omega-3 because he was deficient. We started with light exercise, just a 15-minute walk a day at first. 6 months later, Mr. Paul had lost 26 pounds. His blood sugar normalized, his liver enzymes dropped by 60%, and the elastography showed reduced fibrosis. He told me he felt 20 years younger, that he had regained his will to live, and that he didn't know it was possible to feel this good at his age. And you know, he's 77 now, stays committed to the protocol, travels with his wife, plays tennis once a week. He's an inspiration. So let's recap everything we've discussed so far, because I want to make sure you've understood every important point. Fatty liver in older adults is no joke. It's not just a normal part of aging, it's a serious disease that can progress to cirrhosis, liver cancer, and liver failure. It accelerates biological aging and drastically increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and dementia. The most common mistake in treatment is thinking that generic diet and exercise alone will fix it, when in reality, a multifactorial protocol adjusted for each older adult's needs and limitations is required. It is possible to reverse the condition, but it demands commitment, proper medical follow-up, and real lifestyle changes. The pillars of treatment are a diet low in refined carbohydrates and rich in protein and healthy fats, adapted physical exercise including resistance training to build muscle, supplementation with vitamin D, omega-3 and antioxidants, adjustment of medications that might be harming the liver, strict control of blood sugar and insulin, quality sleep, stress management, and regular checkups with exams. Warning signs include chronic fatigue, disproportionate belly gain, skin problems, mental confusion, and abnormal blood tests. And most importantly, you are not alone in this. Thousands of people are going through the same situation, and with the right guidance and discipline, it's entirely possible to regain your liver health and live a quality life during this wonderful phase of life. If you have fatty liver, if you know someone who does, if this video made sense to you, please hit the like button now. It helps the algorithm get this information to more people who need it. Comment below with your TGO and TGP levels. Let's build a support network. Let's show we're in this fight together. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now and hit the bell icon, because every week I bring content like this, information that can literally save your life or the life of someone you love. Share this video with your friends, your family, that relative, needs to hear this. The more people have access to quality information, the more lives we can change. And if you've tried to reverse fatty liver and haven't succeeded, comment below. Tell me your story, because maybe I can help you understand what's missing from your protocol. In the next video, I'm going to show you the 5 foods you think are healthy but are actually destroying your liver without you knowing it. Foods that are on every healthy diet list but are actually disguised sugar bombs, bad fats, and inflammatory substances. You won't want to miss this video because I'm sure at least 3 of these foods are in your house right now, and you're eating them thinking you're taking care of yourself. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, because you deserve to live with health, dignity, and joy. Take care, and until next time.